Yeah, buddy.
All right, welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
Got another one coming to you today. Got some more stuff to discuss. I don't know if you guys want to get right into it. I got some updates on the 3IATLAS situation.
Oh, yeah, I want to hear about
So
this.
if you want to hear about that.
Because I haven't really paid a lot of attention to it. I've been listening to something else that we'll talk about in a minute.
Okay. So I'm losing a little sleep over it.
What is it getting? Are we last week? It was 110 days. Are we less than 103 days
So
now?
the date now is October 29th.
That's the date.
That's the date.
It's gonna hit us.
Well, so here's the thing. So it's as interesting as this whole thing is. We're probably not even going to see it or anything. Nothing to really even worry about.
I thought we were all gonna die.
So here's the latest on it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
NASA decided to shoot out this Juno probe to try and intercept it, but at the speed and
Meaning what? Meaning what?
so intercept
like,
information, like
Oh,
scan
just to-
it, get
just to
pictures,
try to get
get
data.
anything that we can
Not
from
like,
it.
hey, we're gonna
Not
try to
like
take it out
catch
or
it.
something, or catch
No.
it or whatever.
If
Yeah,
we had
okay.
something to catch something the size of Manhattan, I would be
Well, that's why
really
I was.
impressed.
That's why I had to ask the question. I was like, what do you mean?
So the Juno probe they sent out. The crazy thing about that is like the date that our tech would reach out there is March of next year. So
Is that okay?
yeah, so it's just saying that like our technology can't move fast enough.
I have a question,
Yeah.
and you may or may not know the answer. I don't. That's why I'm asking the question. If you compared how far this
3IATLAS. It's our third
3I
interstellar object
Okay.
that has been pictured by the Atlas
Okay.
Observatory.
So, how far away from Earth is it in comparison to how far away the moon is from Earth?
So I don't know that information, but I know from the sun. So we're 93 million miles from the sun.
Yep.
And
Okay.
when this object is quote unquote here, we are still 130 million miles away from it.
Okay. All right.
So-
All right. Because my question was, when you said we send a Juno interceptor thing, it's going to be March, and I'm going, how? What?
No, so like
How's
that's
that even possible?
So
It's gonna
basically,
take
we're
9 months for it to get over there.
our stuff just wouldn't make it in time to
Okay.
catch it.
Okay.
Catch any
So we're
information.
just taking our chances.
So yeah, and like obviously with NASA and scientists and everyone's doing everything they can to study it and get data. And they've also discovered carbon dioxide and nickel from this object, which is interesting. But at the same time, there's all this, it's continuous speculation and just studying, and science is just all questions and trying to
Very
study.
few answers.
Very few
really, at the
answers.
end of
So yeah, so the object is passing. It'll be passing by Jupiter and Mars. Is like the plane that it's coming in at, like this almost curve through our
Okay.
universe.
Okay.
We're still like the furthest from it. It's going to be behind the sun, and Mars and Jupiter are the only two planets that are going to be like, I guess, having interaction with it. So
has that changed since when we first heard about this? Because I thought
I don't think so. I think it's just the information's just finally getting to us.
Okay. 'Cause I was under the impression that there was this possibility that it was could enter into our atmosphere and create.
I think that was the fear
Problems.
based off of like the speed and trajectory. Everyone was like, that was
Okay.
a big thing on like
Okay. All right.
the concern of like, oh, this thing's just moving on its own and going
Yeah.
where it wants to.
Okay.
There is still a lot of talk that it could be an alien craft. It could have consciousness. It could be, someone just or an extraterrestrial spacecraft investigating our solar system. And based on all the information they're saying, it could just be from our known universe. But you never know. And the closer it gets, they're still going to study. And just like the last two over the last few years since 2017, it could very well just be another space rock comet kind of thing. Another crazy thing I'm not going to really talk about too much because it gets way out there. But there's been a lot of people posting on YouTube doing remote viewing. I don't know if you've ever heard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah. I started
It's
learning more about it.
Interesting stuff. I think we touched on it in
We-
one of our
we might have a
episodes,
little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah. But it's interesting.
It's
stuff.
interesting because a couple people have supposedly remote viewed this object
Oh.
and
okay.
have seen things and saying that it's not hostile and that it is a spacecraft. And some are saying it's like 5-dimensional, where it is a rock and a spacecraft, and because our minds can't comprehend on what that means. It's a lot, and like
Interesting.
I watched
Okay.
today. I probably watched 5 people talk about it, and it's crazy because I don't quite understand remote viewing all that much yet. That might be something I look into and we talk about it at a later date.
Yeah, you might want to go to the Sean Ryan show. He's had a couple different people. I'll give you some names so you know what episodes to look for. Joe McMoneagle is one.
Okay.
Skip Atwater is another one. And there was a woman, and I can picture her, but I can't. Angela something.
Oh, I think we talked about her once.
I think it's Angela something. I can't
Okay.
remember her
Yeah, I'll
last
look
name.
into that because
But he's had all 3 of those people on, and it's come up in other interviews that he's done with people. It's one of those. It's very interesting to me.
it's almost like a meditation thing.
It's kind of like maybe like ESP, mental telepathy kind of
Yeah.
stuff. The one thing I will say that I have learned about it, like when I first was listening to Joe McMoneagle talk about it, I was like, oh, wow, this is interesting. Is that because the CIA was using these people
Yeah.
to like find missing people
Right.
and find where an enemy has like a store of nuclear weapons
Yeah.
or whatever that. So the first time I heard about it, I'm like, oh damn, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then I listened to some more episodes and more interviews. So recently, I've come to learn that those people were really only right like 40% of the time.
Right.
They make it sound like, and I'm not trying to take anything away from them and the work that they did because that part of it is legitimate, but it's not like, oh, they can sit down in this room and then they go, oh yeah, and they're always right. I mean, they're not right very often.
Yeah. It's kind of like when they did there was a group of people like that with the Skinwalker Ranch thing.
Yes.
They
right. Yeah.
all these people like were able to account for objects and times and dates and people's names and faces, and like
Right.
most of them are right, which like to an extent like I believe some of that and some I don't. It's like
Right. Yeah.
but yeah, like you said, maybe 40% of those people,
40% of the time they're right.
Right.
So, but nonetheless, it's still a very intriguing topic. I think I thought the most interesting part of it to me wasn't the fact that people could do it, because I've always been aware that people could.
Yeah.
That some people
are
have
more in
that
tune with
type
like
of,
stuff
guess,
beyond our plane of existence, and
Yeah,
you
call
know.
it a talent, a skill. I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. But I thought the interesting part was that our federal government, not surprisingly, was just spending a shit ton of money on employing these people
Yeah.
to help them do stuff, and it was just kind of like, that's like, it's weird. It's just weird to me in the sense that the government would be convinced that
To
that
use
was
those kind of
that
people.
was useful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's
It is pretty surprising because, like, you would think when it comes to a government situation, like they would kind of laugh and look the other way on something like that.
On something like that.
Not really buy
like-
into something.
Yeah, like you're a
you know?
wacko. What are you talking
Right.
about? Like you can see a
Yeah.
freaking, some underground cave in, Antarctica or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, that sounds absurd.
And there's been more people, like, because it all goes on science, and then it also goes on. There's a big faith side to it too. People
Oh yeah.
who have remote viewed, and maybe some people felt demonic energy. Some
Yeah.
people felt like
Yep.
this was like something from God or
Yep.
anything, and like it comes full circle. And then like even in the news, there's with political influence, like on the right side and the left, everyone using their headlines to like steer the story, and
Oh yeah.
on both sides. So it's a very big, vast topic at this point, and
Yeah.
we're only like 60 days away. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's anything threatening, and I don't think it's anything we're really gonna have to worry about as we thought maybe a week ago.
Well,
But
that's good. That's good news.
it is still
Happy to
very
hear
interesting,
that.
and I want to know more about it, and I kind of
Yeah.
want to keep up to date on it until it happens.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it progresses up until the time that whatever happens, because some of those things, even in the social media world, the things that don't make mainstream media, they get some steam, and then it just like poops out after about
Yeah.
2-3 weeks, maybe a month, and then all of a sudden you just don't hear anything about it ever again.
Interesting enough, I think the 29th is a Thursday when we record.
Oh,
I
okay.
think, or no, or is that a Wednesday? Because Halloween's on a
Friday
Friday.
this year, so it'd be a Wednesday, but we could
Okay.
record on that day.
We could.
do it that day.
We
if you
could,
wanted to.
or if everything's still here on Thursday, we could.
We could
talk
we
about
could still
it.
talk about it. The fact that nothing happened. If
Yeah.
we're all still here. Yeah.
Pretty coincidental. It's happening around Halloween too. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it's Friday the 13th this year, isn't that? Or
This month,
or
next month.
Friday the 13th is in October. Is that what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right.
Anyway,
Interesting.
yeah, very interesting stuff.
Yeah. So to stay on the topic of space, I came across the Y Files. You familiar with the Y Files?
No.
YouTube channel. This guy, his name's AJ Gentile. He has like over 5 million subscribers.
Oh, wow.
So basically, what he does is he finds topics, whether it be, the Knights Templar or, the Ark of the Covenant or whatever, like things that are considered, maybe conspiracy theories or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he just does research and then he presents the research and tries to say, hey, here's a case for why it may be true, or I couldn't find evidence that that this didn't happen, but I can't find evidence that it did.
Right.
Or he'll say, sorry to just debunked, like that's not a real thing.
Yeah.
So I kind of got into listening to him and watching some of his episodes. So are you familiar with the hollow moon theory?
Very vague, like very little.
Okay.
But I've heard the term.
So apparently this would have been around the time of the moon landing. Also a very controversial thing where I think people are, personally, I'm kind of on the fence about it, the moon landing thing, only because there were a couple of things that really stand out to me as why it is I'm very unsure. Is number one, when we're going to walk on the moon, right? We were in this race with the Russians to get to the moon, right? And somehow, all of a sudden, magically, we're doing it, right?
Yeah.
And so when all the networks were trying to televise this, they weren't allowed to have direct feed the direct feed that NASA had.
Right.
They basically were in mission control when the feed was coming in, and they had to they projected it on the wall, and the networks had to film it.
Yeah, right. Because for some reason there was no way for them to live feed the footage.
Apparently, but we could.
What year was this?
It was
Like
late '60s.
'60s. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they could live feed. They could send a person to somewhere and do a story and live feed it back to the broadcast booth. So that sounds fishy to me. And then all of a sudden, when they say, "Well, can we see that? Like, have a recorded footage?" Well, it was like, "No, you can't." That was really strange to me.
There is a lot about the moon landing that I'm like, I mostly still believe that it happened, but maybe not in even though the footage that we've seen might not be real, I still believe that it happened to some aspect.
Well, and here's the next thing, though, that makes me very skeptical. Why is it that 50 years later, we apparently do not possess the technology because we lost it? That's what NASA's said. We don't have the technology to get back to the moon.
So we haven't gone back to the moon since?
No.
Like, at all. That's crazy. But we have a space station and all this other stuff. And
50 years ago, we sent a person who walked on the moon, apparently.
Yeah.
Got out of the spaceship and walked on the moon. But we can't do that today. We don't have the technology. That just sounds too absurd to me.
That is interesting. I'm going to have to look into that, too. Because now I'm like,
Yeah, that's the weird part to me. Because I was like, now, that's the thing that NASA wants to do is get back to the moon and then go to Mars. And it's like, you want to go to Mars, but you can't get to the moon.
Yeah.
It seems odd.
Yeah. And the moon's the closest thing to us.
Yeah.
So it's in our orbit.
So anyhow, during this time period, NASA did these. Somehow they were. Oh, what they were doing is they were launching like rocket boosters from the rocket, like ejecting the booster and onto the surface of the moon, and then recording the sound.
Okay.
And it was like reverberating in a weird way to the point where it was like, is it hollow? We know that the Earth is not hollow. Right. So
because we know there's a crust and a core and all that stuff. And
right.
Yeah.
So that's the hollow moon theory. Is that like they have this data that suggests that it may be hollow.
It's a Death Star.
And there's a couple weird things. That's one. Another one's the blue gem of the moon. So apparently through telescopes you can see this blue light that shows up on the surface of the moon.
Oh, really?
And then it'll disappear, and then it comes back, and it disappears. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So those were a couple of things that I learned on the Y Files, and I knew you might be interested in trying to go down that rabbit hole because you like that.
Yeah, that's
stuff
cool
about
because
space and what have you.
with all the technology we have now and like all these mass like the Atlas Observatory and all these other places around the globe that we have that take pictures and study the
These
universe.
massive telescopes, right? That
You would
take
think
pictures.
you would think we would know more at this point.
Yes.
And
Yes,
and
exactly.
and
That I
from
would agree with you.
and it seems like right now we're still so far behind when it comes to like just discovery and knowledge of not only just our own planet but the universe we're in.
But we went to the moon 50 years ago.
Right.
Just saying.
And I guess that's what makes it seem more like it
Weird.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, that just doesn't track for me. I just have a hard time with that.
It is.
I mean, and you got a guy like Elon Musk who has built like shooting rockets up, and he's like actually bringing them back down and landing them.
Yeah.
He could shoot a rocket every day. SpaceX can do this. Like every day has the capability of shooting a rocket up, and it goes and does whatever and comes, and they can land it back on the launching pad. We have that type of
Yeah, was that
aerospace technology.
all those women they shot up into space? That was that his thing?
Yeah, no,
Or was that something else?
I think that was something else.
The one with Katy Perry and all those.
Yeah, that was something. No, yeah, it was something.
That was
different.
another. Okay,
That was some other thing.
that wasn't NASA, was it?
I don't think so. I think it was like a private person.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was like a private person built a
Spent millions of dollars to just
and a lot of controversy around
Yeah.
that thing too. I didn't care.
I don't care enough.
I didn't care enough to even whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that one might be the Y files might be interesting for you.
Yeah,
to
I've
take
never
a look
heard of
at.
that. I'll have to look into them too.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's pretty neat. Pretty neat.
You said you had a funny story.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, this is like totally off topic. But
Okay.
it's just one of those goofy stories from life that I thought about that it just, and I don't even know what made me think about it the other day. Probably it's not something I've thought about for a long time. So my first job out of college, I worked for a guy that he was an agent for a big moving company. So he had a nice, very good business, nice business. And we're talking 35 years ago now. So he hired me. It taught me all aspects of, that's kind of how I got into transportation. And he taught me all kinds of stuff. I did sales. I did payroll, billing, worked with accounting, blah, 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 operations. So it was him and three other partners. One of the other partners was his brother.
Okay.
So he kind of ran like the operations area, like dispatching the trucks. And we had a huge warehouse. We did a lot of business with a big office furniture company, huge warehouse, did international shipments and stuff like that. But this was in California. So
Okay.
yeah. When I was working in the dispatch area, it was a Saturday I was in there. So I was in there basically by myself. I think it was like the warehouse guy might have been out there. And one of our drivers had come in. And not all the drivers worked directly for us. They worked for the bigger company, but they would always come through our terminal, get fuel, scale out, do all this kind of stuff, or hire guys to help them. We called them lumpers, to help load or unload trucks. So one of the dudes comes in and he's having an issue with his truck. I knew enough. I'd been there long enough. Like I knew that we had a guy that was like our truck guy. He had his own, his truck repair shop guy. And this is back in the day where he had a Rolodex, right?
Okay.
It's not on your phone,
Yeah.
none of that stuff. And I'm thumbing through this, and I knew his first name, and I knew his last name. And I'm looking. Naturally, I go to last name, right?
Yeah.
Can't find it. Maybe,
Yeah.
first name. Can't find it. I'm like, it's like Saturday morning. It's like 8:30 in the morning, right? I'm like, I don't want to call him
Yeah.
at home.
Right.
This guy was a really cool, great guy. Like he taught me a crap ton about the business. Super great guy, but he just had a way about him that, like, if you didn't know him, you could easily be intimidated by him.
Okay.
You had to get once you
those
got to
guys.
know him, you kind of knew like how he was,
Right.
and how he would joke. He was very sarcastic. He would be shitty to you in some ways, just joking
I had some
around.
drivers like that.
Yeah. So I'm like sitting, and this driver, up my butt about, call him and find out. I'm like, dude, it's that Saturday morning. It's 8:30. He's like, I'm sure he's up. He's, he had like a little ranch and stuff.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, hey, I'm sure he's up. We're messing with the cattle. And I'm like, okay. Pick up the phone, dial him up. He answers his phone. I'm going, hey, it's Brad. He's like, what do you want? I'm like, oh, God. So I tell him, and he goes, it's in the Rolodex. I'm like, it's not in the Rolodex. I looked under blah for his last name, blah for his first name. He goes, Brad, it's filed under F for friends. And I'm like, oh, okay. I should know that.
How are you supposed to know that?
And I go, sure enough, there he is in a F section for friends.
He was just under there as friends?
Well, no, he had like a whole section at F of friends.
Oh, okay.
F for friends. And all of the
All
people,
the people were in there.
Friends were in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I don't even know why that came to me.
That's
I was
goofy.
thinking about that the other day.
That's goofy.
And I just remember like at the time I was like 21 years old, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I hang up and I'm like, that's got to be the dumbest thing I've ever
Yeah, that's
heard.
just stupid. That's just silly to think
How in
that.
the world would I ever have known that?
And how would anybody know that?
Right.
Except for him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe his friends will know, but
Yeah.
I actually got a goofy story. I don't know if anyone's heard of this, but you ever heard of Elmer McCurdy, the outlaw mummy?
The outlaw mummy?
Yes.
I'm trying to go through the
This is
files
like
there.
1911.
Okay.
This is an old story.
No, it doesn't. it's
That
not ringing a
that went
bell.
on until the 70s, believe it or not. So I'm going to tell you the end of the story because that's like the real deal, but I'll tell you kind of about him afterwards
Okay.
on like what his deal was. In the 70s, somewhere between like California, Oklahoma, Iowa, all these places, there was this traveling like circus haunted kind of like.
That was a big thing in that time.
Yeah.
In that time
Yeah.
frame. Yeah.
And when I first heard the story, I literally immediately thought of A House of a Thousand Corpses by Rob Zombie. But anyway,
Yikes.
so there's this crew who has their whole setup, and you know, they're going through their thing, and you know, there's clowns and all this kind of stuff and whatever.
So they had like bearded ladies and
Yeah, like all that kind of
kinda
stuff,
wacky stuff,
weird
like
stuff.
dwarves and stuff that were
So there was a section where they had a bunch of like
okay.
and like hanging from nooses and stuff like that, and
Okay.
creepy, weird section. Some of the guests had reported like there was this weird mannequin object in the one section of the house, and so one of the owners went and looked into it, and it was like hanging up a little bit higher. They were hanging from chains, almost like flatbed chains, like those like heavy duty.
Oh yeah.
you know.
Okay.
So he goes up to this one, and the arm falls off. So he's like, "Oh yeah, it's obviously a mannequin. Like I'm just gonna try to put this thing back on."
Pop it back in.
So he goes to put the limb back on it. And if you've ever seen a mannequin or any kind of thing, they have very defined edges and curves to lock limbs in place. He said he went at it with a flashlight, and it was very dark and gray and like almost like had like a shredded jerky texture to it. Very old too. But he could see a bone at the center of it and was like, oh, shoot. And so they reported it to the local police, and EMS came out and all that stuff, and discovered this was a mummified body, an actual corpse that had been given to this traveling carnival through a coroner's office. So
What?
the weird thing about this is there
It's just we just have like an unclaimed dead body, so you can take it with you.
so it's really weird because I guess in the from the 1900s all the way up until like the 20th century or so, it's like Civil War area and all that. It was very common to mummify bodies to preserve them and like put them on display. I guess that was like a thing up until like we finally decided to stop doing that because we're crazy. And I guess in like they would there was this thing called the outlaw graveyard where they would bury like thieves and outlaws and all that kind of stuff. They didn't go in regular cemeteries.
Okay.
In this one town, I think it was in Oklahoma, they had this guy specifically, Elmer McCurdy. He was put on display in this cemetery as like one of the main outlaws.
Like he was a bad dude.
Yeah,
so
he was a
we're,
bad
like,
guy.
Making an example.
The
of
funny
guy.
thing about this guy is he was a bad outlaw, meaning like he was bad at what he did. Like he was
But
not.
he got notoriety for it.
Yeah, it's
like at the end of his life.
Yeah, and like he was very he admired outlaws like Jesse James, or is that who I'm thinking of? Jesse James and all those guys, you know, from
Billy
that time.
the Kid and all those
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
So initially what happened, to go back on his story, he was pretty much a nobody in the beginning. He you know, he didn't know his father, he didn't know his mother up until like a certain age, and found out like his aunt was his real mother, and his mother was his aunt. It was kind of like a weird situation. And then found out that his father was his uncle who had passed away. So there was just all this weird family. Like it was just, they hid a lot of information from him. So it kind of messed him up mentally.
Okay.
When he got of age, he started drinking, became an alcoholic, eventually sending him off to his grandfather, who kind of whipped him into shape, got him into like a trade, and he actually learned plumbing. So became a pretty significant plumber over the years. But this was also around like the recession and stuff, so like jobs in America were very scarce. So and then he joined the military, served in the military for like 3 or 4 years, got out of that, and then realized he still had to get another job. Well, even though he had all this plumbing experience, there were no jobs available. So he kind of became a drifter, was going from town to town, just doing any kind of work. He ended up in this mining town where he became a miner, which we all know, especially around that time, was a dangerous job, still is a dangerous
not
job.
the safest job.
But there were no safety precautions in that field at the time.
No.
You know, people get black lung, people die of head injuries and being crushed
Mines
by
would
collapsing all the time.
All kinds of crazy stuff.
And that's why it paid so well, you know. But at that time, $2 a day was the pay. So with that being an issue, the financial problems, he started to become a criminal, and you know, robbing banks, robbing trains. But he was very bad at it, and he always got into like a new outfit. You know, drifting. Ended up in this outfit. They rob a train. The one they actually they got the train to stop. They used explosives to blow out the rails and everything, and they got in. They managed to. It took them like 2 to 3 hours to get this one safe open that was full of like silver and all this stuff. And the explosion that they had caused was so bad that it impacted the safe and caused all of the funds inside to melt together. So it was just this one solid plate of silver stuck to a safe. So just to get something out of it, Elmer still steals the conductor's watch and a bottle of whiskey and hits the road.
All right.
Leaves that outfit, moves on to the next town. And this was like a reoccurring thing for him.
Okay. Yeah.
He was never really successful on robbing anything, but he always took something with him. So this happened again. They robbed it was in a new outfit in the Osage area. And of course, everything went wrong. He was stealing what he could. He got down the road, decided this outfit wasn't for him either. Grabbed a bottle of whiskey, and he's walking down the road up into the Osage Hills, just plastered at this point, you know? And ends up passing out in a barn on a random farm. Local law enforcement shows up. And of course, without even thinking, he starts firing back at them, starts shooting at people. So ultimately, he's shot by one of the sheriffs and killed. So pretty horrible life, I would say, you know, that he lived. And
Yeah. Not great.
what's really sad is he started to take a turn when Iowa was becoming. They were taking a shift, and like they were really upscaling the city. And I forget what city he was in, but because Oklahoma City was one, and then somewhere between there and Missouri, things were starting to thrive, and like jobs were becoming more available, and like buildings were being built and all that kind of stuff. So his profession was like welcomed because he was a man of like industry, and like he knew
the plumbing.
He knew the plumbing stuff, so, like,
that's in demand at that.
yeah. So it
building-
was
building,
really
yeah.
good for him. And then unfortunately, alcohol just took him down the wrong path, and then ended up in a life of crime, and then ended up dying in a barn. Basically, his, you know, like I told you, they put him in the outlaw cemetery. And then, so from basically 1911 until like 1975, this body was just moved around the country. It was on display. And then at one point, because when it ended up in that circus, it got taken to a coroner's office to have a autopsy done.
Okay.
And they had realized, oh, this corpse already been stuffed and done all this
Mummified,
kind of
yeah.
stuff, everything.
Yeah.
They did all these studies, and like they figured out like who he was and all this stuff. And ultimately, after he got moved around a couple more times, he was finally put to rest, I think up in Maine, and gave him an actual grave, buried him under some concrete so he couldn't be moved again, and then a tombstone.
So his body was on display in one form or another up until 1975.
Supposedly.
Did people know who he was? Were people aware of who he was, or was it just the the fact that it was like a mummified body that people were enthralled with?
Yeah, because like he ended up in some museums and stuff like that, and I guess somewhere between like the early 1900s and the 70s, he kind of got lost. Like the body was like, because And another weird detail in the report from the police was within a 24-hour time, there was, because the body was being transported for whatever reason, they had sold this to this carnival company as a prank. And and this was like a lawless thing. Like they knowingly did this as a joke. And then in a 24-hour period when the police were called to the scene, nobody knew about this. Like that this was like even supposed to be happening.
Wow.
So that happened too. But ultimately, like I said, they ended up burying him. But it's just a wild story that like
how
put this
did
horrible.
you come across this?
So I want to give credit to the girls on Morbid. They had covered this story, and if you want to
Okay.
listen to it, they have a very in-depth, like 1-hour episode on it. And they go about his whole life, the whole situation. But go check that out. They have a really good episode on Elmer McCurdy.
That's crazy.
It's so crazy.
That is crazy.
And like ultimately, like everything that happened, he was just a pretty terrible outlaw. Like he was just kind of like a wannabe Jesse James.
Wow. That is freaking
So
crazy.
never successful on the criminal side.
But he was very successful as a dead person, apparently.
Very.
That's where
He was more famous after he was dead.
Yeah. That's
So-
why I asked the question. Like, people, did people know who he was?
I mean, early on, I think people did because of like his reputation, and then like eventually,
Yeah. And then it was like, well, it's just a dead body, and we put it on. It's going to the street fair and to the county fair, and it's like that is so freaking weird. It's just weird to me that like I mean, I get it. I do understand. Like in the 1910s time frame, there was that movie that Bradley Cooper was in about the circus or carnival. Do you remember that? Anyhow, it's not surprising to me that there would be like a dead body, mummified body on display, and people would pay like a nickel to see it. That like during that time frame, like that was a thing. Like, like I said, like the bearded lady and midgets and two-headed things and Siamese twin, the Siamese
like
twins.
P.T.
and,
Barnum
like,
kind of did that with the circus, like
just like wild and crazy stuff that people would pay money to see, right? Yeah. So not surprising.
No, but it is strange how the whole thing happened and how it took so long to actually like put a mummified corpse in the ground.
that's freaking bonkers.
Yeah,
Wow.
crazy stuff.
That is crazy stuff. That's nuts.
They have some wild story. Like they cover a lot of like serial killer, normal stuff like that. But every once in a while, they come across like a really strange story, something like this.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Never heard about that guy. But hey, it's in the memory banks now. Now we know it.
Yep.
Very cool. So, have you noticed? There was the big, and this is just shifting gears again. There was a big push, probably like 5, 6, 7 years ago, about cutting the cord, right? Getting rid of cable because cable prices were getting stupid, right? And we didn't really have streaming options other than like Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Now we have like 10,000 streaming options,
and now they're all starting to collab with each other.
Well, that's what I was gonna talk about. Like the world of streaming. It's like, so I'm a big sports fan, especially football. So when football season is not happening, I don't watch a lot of baseball. I like hockey, but it's happening at the same time as football for the most part. Don't care about basketball, really, other than like March Madness. But so, football season was rolling around. I'm like, okay, I got to like see what my options are so I can watch football. And, ESPN comes out with a direct-to-consumer app, and then Fox comes out with their own direct-to-consumer app. NBC already has Peacock, so you can watch Sunday Night Football on Peacock. And
I think even YouTube does now too.
YouTube TV does. YouTube is going to actually televise a game week 1 on a Friday night.
I saw that.
Direct on YouTube for free.
For not even premium members.
For anybody. You got Paramount Plus at CBS, so you can watch CBS on Sunday football. And then now apparently ESPN is going to pair up with Fox next month in October and offer a plan that you can have those two, Disney and ESPN and Hulu's going away. It's not going to be a thing anymore next year.
Be part of Disney.
Yeah, it's like,
I know.
And like, but it's, I guess where I was going with this is like, what has, like, all the people that thought they were saving money by streaming are probably paying more money now than they were when they had cable. And what like they are just totally leaning into the sports thing,
Yeah.
and especially football, and just, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's just like it's all about like consuming. Like it's like they're always trying to find ways. Like I noticed in the last year or two, HBO and HBO Max and Warner Brothers, like there's been all this like rebranding and collaboration.
We're spinning this off and going to collaborate this with that, and we're going to change our name. We're going back to, we're not HBO Max anymore. We're going to be HBO again.
Yeah,
And it's like, what?
We're not Max anymore.
Yeah,
it's
it's just so crazy. It's been a lot of movement in that area.
yeah, and like it hasn't really done much to change anything.
Not when it comes to cost.
And that's the only thing that has changed is the cost. It all went up.
Right. It's
You
not
know?
like we're going to do this and it's going to save you money. No, it's going to cost you more, because if you want to still watch this over here, you got to have this. But you like that? Well, you got to have this in addition to that. And so now it's.
Yeah, and I think HBO also said that they were monitoring password usage.
Yeah, that's going to start too soon.
So
Because we already know Netflix did that.
And you know what sucks? And this is where they get you. Like, I pay for Netflix, and I know she pays for YouTube. I pay for Netflix, and then I think we might pay for Peacock or something. Because I know between the rest of us, we all share accounts
We share.
for the most part. Well,
We do share.
allegedly share.
There's
you know.
reports of some shared passwords. I
But-
cannot confirm or deny.
So due to the economy and like, job changes and stuff over the last year, we all kind of tried to cut back and cancel subscriptions where we could, or drop it down to like the lowest cost.
Yeah.
I did
Which
that.
includes ads now.
Right.
On-
So I
on
dropped down
every
to
damn thing.
Netflix to the $7.99, and like the ads were just horrible.
Yeah.
Stuff wasn't loading. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to up it back to the middle tier at least, so that like at least we don't have ads.
Yeah.
And like that made it better, but it's like now I'm spending like $18.
Now you're spending,
and
more
then
money.
like, we were using Paramount yesterday, and I'm like,
Paramount app
it's
stinks.
terrible.
It stinks.
It doesn't load.
It is awful.
It is so
It
horrible.
is for as big of an organization that CBS Paramount is.
Yeah.
It's the worst app of
Across the board.
of all of those streaming apps. It is terrible.
It's pretty terrible.
It stinks.
And like I've been watching a lot of Hulu because Alien Earth came out a few weeks ago.
Okay, yeah.
Which is really good. But like for that episode, like each episode every Tuesday, I feel like I'm watching
Regular TV. Like back in the
30
day.
minutes of ads.
It's
probably.
like back in the day, like regular.
Yeah, I'm
network
like, I
television.
hate this.
Yeah. But,
So
yeah,
I ultimately, because I know Disney's doing the whole like merger with Hulu, and I'm sure a couple other things are changing. When all that is said and done, I'm gonna take a step back, see what I use the most, and only pay for like one or two things.
And see, and here's how they get you. This is how they get you, though. So so Disney is a parent company of ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is how they get you. They offer you, hey, if you have Disney Plus, we'll throw in, Hulu for free, and if you want to spend an extra $9.99, you can get ESPN. And people are going, oh yeah,
That's a good
cool.
deal.
That's a good deal. I don't ever watch Disney. I never watch Hulu, but I like ESPN.
Yeah.
So now now ESPN has their own direct to consumer thing, and
Yeah.
so but still that's $40 a month.
I'm waiting for the gaming world to start to do the same thing. So with PlayStation and Xbox, you pay for a yearly subscription to have online and access to like game libraries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like on PSN, the essential is like the standard subscription.
Like your base.
You get 1 year. You get like 3 free games a month to add to your library as long as you maintain the subscription.
Okay.
If you don't, you lose those. So the cool thing between Xbox and PlayStation, I think even Nintendo still lets you do this, and the companies know you can do this. I don't think they like it, but there's this thing called game sharing, where it's like almost like the password thing, where like so like say I buy the new Call of Duty game that comes out, say you pay full price at $69.99, and Alexis wants to also play it. So instead of her purchasing the game as well, she can log onto my account on her console, download that game from my account, and then log back into her account and play that game. So essentially, any couple in any household can play a brand new game together for one price.
That seems
Seems
totally reasonable.
Which is reasonable, but I have a feeling they're going to try and
They're gonna
get rid of that. They're going to try
It
to.
seems reasonable to me, but I'm sure somebody
Because think about how much money
in
they
the corner
lose.
office is going, we're losing out.
Yeah.
what we could do is you could use that person's login, and we'll, instead of charging them the full price, we'll charge them 50%, half the price.
To add game sharing or something.
Game sharing's, if you want to, you paid for the game, but she wants the game, you can log in and you can game share it back to, to your account, but you got to pay like half price.
I saw something.
It's all about generating revenue.
Always. Yeah.
So any opportunity they have to do that, they're going to do it.
Yeah, and like Fandango at home, where I like enter digital codes from like Blu-rays I buy.
Yeah.
They did something recently where they're like collaborating with Movies Everywhere, which is like another company that like you can redeem codes through, and like you can have the ultimate movie library through them. And like they said, got an email where it's like, if you don't read this email and agree to these terms and all this stuff, you could lose your library of like I've had for like 10 years.
But you paid for that. Like you bought a physical disc.
Yeah.
Right. With the digital copy code. How can you, what?
Yeah. And I'm like, are they going to do something to that too? Because like I'm entering these codes in.
It's $5.99 a month.
And like say you guys wanted to watch a movie. I'm like, oh yeah, log into my Fandango and watch it. Are they going to block that off too? Like,
I'm sure. I'm sure.
But it's crazy,
Yeah. I was just thinking about that recently it was because I was gearing up for football season and I'm trying to look at my options.
Right.
And, like, what could I do where I could have access to everything I want to watch whenever I want to sit down, whether it's Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, Monday, whatever time the game's on, I can put something on. And it's like, I got to have like 5 different apps for that.
We were having this discussion last Sunday at band practice because 3 of the 5 guys watch football. And they were kind of talking about the same thing. And it's like, who has this, or, hey, can I watch this on there? And, it's so like oversaturated with like what you should and shouldn't use and what you have access to.
It's freaking dumb. It's just, it's just been such a shift. Probably. I would say it's probably been like 10 years. Cause we used to have DirecTV with the actual dish.
Right.
Now you can have DirecTV without a dish. You don't need that anymore. It's like an app. And one of the cool things that they did, which I seriously considered but ended up going a different direction, but they do these genre packs, which are kind of cool. So like if you get the regular, like, they have 3 tiers of like regular TV, and it's X, Y, and Z price wise. But if you're a sports fan, you can get this, and it's $70 a month instead of $90 a month for regular TV. So I'm looking at that, and then I see that in our area, the ABC channel is not included, which televises college football games on Saturday night. I'm like, well, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
All right.
Why wouldn't it just have all the channels that have sports?
Because it's all that stuff that goes on behind the scenes with like local affiliates of networks, and they have to have an agreement with every platform that channel goes out on. They have to have a deal that says, okay, we pay this and you pay us this for that channel to be on your platform. So, but anyhow, back to the genre thing. So that, like if you're a news person, they got all the news, or if you like, for your kids, like the kids channels, whatever those are these days.
Yeah, like Disney, Nickelodeon, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of a cool idea. So, but recently I saw that
Fubo. Why does that sound familiar?
That's a streaming service.
Okay, yeah.
And they have a pretty decent sports package, but what they're now offering, and I think I read that Disney Plus / ESPN sued them for this, which I don't know how they can do this, but whatever. They're offering you can buy what's called a day pass or a weekend pass. So if like you're a college football person, right? Or you like to watch college and pro football, you could buy like a pass that on there for, I don't know what it was, like $15 or $20 for the weekend.
Okay.
And you can have access to their sports channels, whether it be ESPN, NBC, Fox, whatever, to watch college or pro football. And then they have like a day pass if you just wanted to do it for like a Saturday, so you want to watch college football. It's like $10.
So if you're not watching like every week and you just like a specific
or
weekend,
you're not watching every day.
Right. Okay.
Like I just want to watch, I just like to watch college football. I don't really, as long as I can watch my team play or whatever, I can pay $10 a week. But at the end of the day, it's still $40 a month that you're spending to watch football, and so apparently Disney Plus or Disney sued them for that. I don't know.
Oh wow.
What that's all about. But
that's weird. And it's all like I always see like they just put out like they said Superman was it's available on digital to rent or buy on on digital before the Blu-ray release.
Yeah.
So like, which I thought it was kind of fast for it already being in the theater.
Yeah, it came out what, like
July?
6 weeks ago.
Yeah, something
Maybe?
like that. 6-8 weeks ago, and it did really well at the box office. It did like $600 million, which is great. Good movie, by the way. I did finally watch it.
But it speaks to the power that the consumer has at home ever since
does.
COVID.
Yeah,
like,
it
I mean,
does.
that's like because it used to be back in the day, right? A movie would come out and it wouldn't be available to be on Prime or
Forever.
whatever for 6 months,
Yeah.
a year in some cases, right? Because they really were trying to push you to go to the theater to watch
Yeah.
the movie. And then COVID happened, and of course we couldn't go to the movies,
Right.
or fucking house. So that like that how how consumer habits changed, and as much as they don't want that to be the case anymore,
Yeah.
they want people to go to the theater. The power is still in the people that say, "I want to watch it sitting on my own couch at home, or have some friends over, and we're going to watch a movie." And they'll pay $30.
Yeah, I was
When
curious.
it first hits digital, they're like,
It's like $25 to rent the movie.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
20. I think in a lot of cases they're between $19.99 up to $29.99.
Depending on like what resolution and all that.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
But think about it, right? Like if you spent $30 and you had, five friends come over and watch a movie and say, "Hey, you got to pay me $5 to watch a movie because it cost me 30."
Yeah, right. That's
people
fair.
would do that's cheaper than going to the movies,
It is. You're right.
right? Bring a case of beer and we'll make some popcorn, have some pizza, and watch a movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
There's so much power in
there
the
is.
consumer at home.
There really is. And that's where they get you too, because the Blu-ray release I think is like 3 to 4 weeks after the digital release. So
Yeah.
like if you don't want to wait for the physical copy, which most people don't buy anymore,
Correct.
that's how you do it. And then on streaming services, I think it is like a full 6 months after initial release that it goes on a streaming service to watch for free.
For free.
For free.
Yes, correct. That's
Yeah.
generally the case.
Which
yes.
it'll be on Max because it's a Warner Brothers movie.
Right, be on Max.
Yeah. Or
But
HBO.
although they turned Sinners around pretty quickly
Yeah, they did.
on the HBO.
And I think a lot of movie studios have a little bit of pull, because I've seen like directors specifically say like I do not want my movie on streaming services until this time. I want people to go to the theater and see it. So I'm sure depending on your status in like the cinema world,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all about
And some people
the
want
dollar.
to push their stuff to services because they know that's where their customers are.
And depending on what service you're going to, I mean, even on HBO these days, they have a level of service that includes ads, which
Yeah.
is the cheapest level. But you still have access to the content,
Right.
but you got to watch ads. Mm-hmm. So there's a benefit to the people that made the movie,
Yeah.
to throw it there, because they're getting their money from the people that are paying for no ads, right? Because that's more, that costs more, or the ads and generating ad revenue. So it's still kicking them money. in the
Yeah.
end.
It's crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. Like last week, we were talking about generational differences, and everybody talking about the boomers and those people that held on to cable, and they're going, "Yeah, see, I told you, it'd come back around."
Yeah, and I'm always like, oh, I only pay for internet. I don't. And it's like, well, not really. I also pay for Netflix, and I pay for. So I was like, so
Yeah.
I am spending about the same I would on cable.
We probably are,
because Armstrong Internet's $95 a month,
which is just
and that's to have like high speed internet. So like,
why can't I have high speed internet all the time? Like, why is there a person out there that pays for the lowest level?
well, so I talked to a service agent through Armstrong when he was over once, and that's the issue. Like, so the only people that are really paying for that low service are like people that only use like their phone and like maybe check an email, and like, so like probably like grandparents and like older people that don't really do anything else but watch like local TV. And
They have cable. Probably.
they have cable probably.
So
yeah.
they don't need it to stream.
So, and then he said the majority of the people have like this package because most people stream on multiple devices, play video games, use laptops.
That's another example of how this streaming has affected us in terms of costs, right? Because now all these people got rid of cable. Now we have all these streaming things available. And in order to run those, especially if you have multiple people in your home watching on different devices, whether it's the TV, their iPad, their phone, you got to have like the fastest internet you can have for all those devices to work at the same time and stream everything.
Yeah, I mean,
So the internet people went, "Hey, here's an idea."
Yeah. And that's your target audience. I mean, the majority of people today, like especially like I'm sure between the ages of like 18 and 50,
Yeah.
you know, are probably like
I want
want the fastest internet to use multiple devices and
yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. But consumers will consume, you know, it's
We do it, we bitch about
we
it, but
bitch about it,
but we
but
still pay
like
for
we've
it,
said
right?
this before, we'll pay for it anyway.
We complain about it, but we still get it.
Yeah, so while we're on the topic real quick, so like I said, I saw Superman and I'm kind of upset I waited so long.
Okay.
It was worth it. Worth
Okay.
a watch. If
All right.
if it hits Max or whatever, definitely watch it.
Okay.
It's a different Superman movie for sure. It's James Gunn who did the Guardians movies, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh.
So it's
I
got
like those.
It's got kind of like that feel.
Does it?
It's a very
I like
it's
those
the most
Guardians of the
lighthearted Superman movie ever made. You can't even compare it to like Man of Steel because that was such like a dark
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, yeah. I did see that too. Yeah.
But it was really good, and I think it kind of like I kind of see like a brighter future for the DC universe for the first
is the
time.
same dude Superman, or is it a different?
No.
dude?
This
We
is
got a new dude?
this is David Cornsweet.
I don't know who that is.
He was
Sorry.
in Twisters.
Who was he in Twisters?
He was the one guy on the opposing like group,
Dark-haired guy.
dark hair with a hat.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the new Superman.
So what happened to what's his face?
So Henry Cavill,
That guy.
who's incredible.
I thought he was pretty good as Superman.
He's great as Superman. He was great in The Witcher. He was great in a lot of things. But there was this big thing where like he was like initially fired from both roles. Not anything he did. It was just some stupid crap in the studios that just kind of like.
That's a weird thing about like the.
It's so unfortunate because the fans backed him the whole way. You know.
Like the whole thing with like how they do the Batman stuff and the Spider-Man specifically, you know, Superman, where it's like, well, we didn't like the one where with Tobey Maguire, so we're gonna have a new Spider-Man and tell the story, and now it's the other Andrew Garfield,
And now Tom Holland
and now it's Tom Holland, and like Batman is it Michael Keaton, is it Christian Bale, is it
Robert Pattinson.
yeah, it's
yeah.
Like, God, I
Here's
can't keep up with all that.
It's the other
stuff.
upsetting thing too, because like as promising as this new Superman movie is, and as good as Robert Pattinson's Batman was, Batman is not going to be used in this universe if they continue it. There's going to be another Batman,
So it'll be a different guy.
Even though there's a
I like
Batman
that
2
one.
being filmed
with
Pattinson.
I really like that,
And I
version of
think
it.
that'll
That was-
continue to do well.
That particular movie I really like, because I was like when the original one came out. I think it was like 1989 with Michael
With Keaton.
Like I really dug
It's a very
that
good movie.
with Jack Nicholson. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is freaking sweet.
Yeah.
You know, this was really cool.
Both of those were good.
I always liked Michael Keaton too as an actor. I always really.
I
liked
still
him.
love him, yeah.
But that one with Pattinson was like that.
It has just like this dark grittiness to it, and like
kind of almost like the scenery stuff kind of reminded me of The Crow.
yeah,
Yeah?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it did,
Yeah.
yeah, and it has just like that, almost like very noir kind of like down grounded, gritty, like detective kind of Batman
Yep.
feel.
Like I thought that it should feel
Yeah,
from the comics.
yeah, and we had these different generations of like Keaton's Batman was the very like it was Tim Burton, so it was very just like
I forgot about
over
Val Kilmer.
stylized and kind of like old, kind of campy kind of
Yeah, I mean
feel.
it was late 80s.
And it was
so
the first
like,
time Batman was done in like a darker
Oh yeah.
feel since like the
Well, and the show was just
TV show.
super corny.
Yeah.
But
And then you go from there and you have, Val Kilmer and
forgot
George
about Val.
Clooney.
I forgot about
So
him,
like
too,
those were fine, and like those were more of like the era of like we want to sell toys and have like this
Yeah.
very over fantastical version of Batman and the
Right.
villains, and
Yep.
then Christopher Nolan reinvented Batman with the whole like realistic feel, which was very good, a very good trilogy.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah.
And now we got Pattinson, which I think is, it's another like new version where like they tell the story in their own way. And I think with James Gunn doing Superman, I think this is the first time we get like a real new like way of looking at the character and like who he is, and like paying homage to past characters and comics. And I just think it's a good thing, even though, at the end of the day, it's always going to be controversial because people are going to hate and love it at the same time.
Oh yeah. Right.
I watched a lot of good movies this year, and I'm excited for stuff that's out now and like stuff that's coming out.
What do
by
we
the end
have
of the
coming
year.
up? Do we have any because Thanksgiving's not that far away. Believe it or
Right.
not, it's hard to believe that we're saying that.
I know Weapons is killing the box office
I haven't
right now.
seen it, but I'm dying to
I
see
wanna
that.
go.
I probably, just because of the way my schedule is, I probably will not get an opportunity to see it at the theater. It'll probably hit home before I can get to the theater to see it. But yeah, it's getting rave reviews. It's supposed to be fantastic.
Yeah, here, let me I can actually fill you in
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
just wondering
latest
what like what's going to hit. Thanksgiving always is a big, big time too.
right. Okay. Oh, we got another twin movie called Twinless.
What is it?
It's called Twinless. I don't know. Didn't hear. Oh, another big one, The Conjuring: The Last Rites, September 5th.
Bro,
That's this week. That's tomorrow. Yeah, that's
I
tomorrow.
got to tell you, I'm kind of over all that.
Are you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I
See,
kind of am.
this is the last one.
This is like,
It is the last one.
yeah, they always tell us it's the last one. I'm kind of over that whole thing. Like, I thought
Okay.
the first like 2 or 3 were pretty.
Yeah.
The first one, the original
I'm a
one,
sucker for that whole universe.
The first one was like awesome. I really liked the first one, but like, what is this going to be, like the 6th movie?
Yeah, like if you want to, it's the fourth Conjuring movie, I think,
Is it? We had the first one. We had 2.
because they consider like the Nun and the Annabelle movies all part of that.
Okay,
Like,
I'm not talking about
yeah.
that. I'm talking about, like, there was one, The Devil Made Me Do It.
that was the third one.
That was 3.
Yes.
Okay, so this is only 4.
There's only 4 Conjuring movies.
Oh, for
I know
some
it
reason,
does feel like
I
there's
thought
a
there
lot
were
more.
A lot more than that. Okay.
And it does because of the other films make it feel like
Okay.
there's so much more to it.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, there's a Spinal Tap 2 coming out.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. That looks pretty good. Let me see. Oh, yeah. One Battle After Another. This looks like another interesting one. It has Leonardo DiCaprio. The cover of it reminds me of Killers of the Flower Moon, but it looks pretty crazy.
Which, did you like that?
I loved that
I
movie.
thought that was, like, at first, I was like, I saw the trailer, and I talked about how I get sucked in by trailers.
Yeah.
And I kind of was against watching it, and I watched it. I really liked it.
I thought it was fantastic.
I thought he was, and I have my own, like, I have an opinion of Leonardo DiCaprio as an actor and then as a person, so I have to separate the two. But I thought he was, as an actor, obviously, he was really, really good in that movie. I thought he was very
and
good.
Robert De Niro, too.
De Niro was in that.
Yeah.
Same thing. I have an opinion of him as an actor, and then I have an
Yeah.
opinion of him as a person. But
That's
he
kind of my
was-
thing, too. Sometimes the actors make the film depending on what it is. You know,
Oh, yeah.
If it's a well-established actor, like someone like these guys, like legends, like Leonardo and De Niro, and
Yeah.
I'll go see it no matter who it is, and depending on who the directors always pull me into movies too.
Right.
But I think you'll probably be excited about this one. No one's really heard about it. No one's really talking about it. But Daniel Day-Lewis has come out of retirement.
Yeah, I saw a trailer for it on Twitter.
Him and his son. It's called Anemone.
Yeah, I saw the trailer because they dropped a trailer out on social media a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, Sean Bean's in it too.
Yeah. Yes, he is. I'm trying to understand the storyline.
So I can read a little synopsis if you want.
Okay.
Writer-director Ronan Day-Lewis, who's his son,
Yep.
makes his feature debut with this familial drama about pious man Sean Bean trekking deep into the woods to find his brother, a former British soldier who abandoned his wife and child years ago. This recluse still suffers from PTSD and prefers solitude to society. Still, his siblings' mission is to bring him back into the fold and hopefully heal old wounds. The fact that this hermit-like figure is played Ronan's co-writer and father Daniel Day-Lewis, and that the role signals his return to the screen after an 8-year absence. And cause for celebration, to say the least, the always great Samantha Morton and Samuel Bottomsley, How to Have Sex co-star.
I wonder if Daniel Day-Lewis just did it because his son was a part of it, or is he really going to get back to being in films again?
I don't know if he'll continue, but like I mean, that's another guy. Every film he's been in has just been out of this world.
I think we talked about him.
We talked about him a little bit. I mean, when you go back to like Gangs in New York and There Will Be Blood and Lincoln, there's so many I can't even think of off the top of my head. But he's like another just like classic actor who kind of goes down in history with his performances.
Yeah, he is the guy. Like when I think about an actor who fully embraces a role, that's the guy I think of.
Yeah.
That's exactly who I think about.
Well, that's October 3rd, so that's not too far away either.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like you said, aside from like some other, I mean, there's quite a few films coming out, but anything that like stands out, there's nothing really that massive. Looks like a lot of like independent films though, for sure.
Okay.
Tron Ares, Black
Yeah.
Phone 2.
Did you see Black Phone?
I liked it.
I didn't see it.
It was good.
Okay.
Yeah, it was weird, but it was good.
Yeah, it looks weird.
Yeah.
I never watched it. So
Pretty solid. Frankenstein.
yeah, so totally different take on Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Right.
Very cool. Guillermo del Toro.
I'm big
Yeah.
fan of his.
Yeah.
I do. Guillermo del Toro, Benicio's brother, who's
Yeah, that's
Benicio
a-
del Toro is one of like a favorite actor. of
Yeah,
mine.
yeah, he's
I really
awesome.
like him.
He's awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, I saw a little bit about some talk about this Frankenstein movie. And
Yeah, it's a
like
Netflix release too.
yeah, it's gonna be. Looks like it's gonna be a little bit of a different take on the story, I guess. And
That always like hurts a little bit. Like we talked about streaming services, like when a lot of these studios like are streaming releases. I don't know if that
Direct to streaming.
hurts the film at all, not being released in cinema.
I don't know.
And sometimes, depending, some cinemas will play the movie like later on, or
Yeah, that does
But-
happen. But yeah, I don't know.
like you ever seen Knives Out?
You know, and I know they have another.
There's a new one
There's
coming out.
another one coming out.
Yeah.
I have not. I haven't seen them.
Those are Netflix films, and like
Were they? But they were in the theater.
were they?
I thought so.
I don't know. But Knives Out, and then like Glass Onion, and
Yeah.
now this one's Wake Up Dead Man or something.
Yes. It's got the Harry Potter dude in it, right?
Well, Daniel Craig's in it.
Oh, that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah,
Craig.
the James Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the. We have another James Bond now, by the way.
Who is it? Do we know yet?
I think it's been announced. I don't know who the
I
guy
can't.
is.
I know they've been talking about it.
I saw the name. It's not somebody I'm familiar with.
I know a lot of actors have been asked to play James Bond, and a lot of them have like been Americans, and they've all said no. You should get a British actor.
I thought Daniel Craig was actually like.
He's
I thought he was really good.
it might be an unpopular opinion, but because of my age and like his legacy of movies, those are my favorite James Bond movies.
I thought he was really good, and I'm a person that grew up. My dad was a big
Right.
James Bond guy.
And I have
You
a
know,
huge
we're
appreciation
talking about,
for
you know,
past
the
like
Sean Connery,
Yeah.
and of course the Roger Moore
Roger
era.
Moore. Yeah,
And then we got the Timothy Dalton, which was like,
kind of corny.
yeah. But I thought Daniel Craig was really good.
I just think for like a serious like modern take on James Bond, which his first movie came out in like 2000. I mean, he played Bond for almost 20 years.
Yeah, he did.
When you think about it,
He did
for over
4 or 5 movies. Yeah,
Yeah. All Springsteen comes out in October.
yeah. I'm interested to see what that's going to be like.
But yeah, like till the end of the year, like I said,
Nothing crazy coming around Thanksgiving.
Some horror movies, some
Any like crazy?
Predator Badlands before that doesn't. I don't want to see the Predator made into like a hero, anti-hero. I don't want to see that.
Did you see the one that was the direct to Hulu release that they did?
Prey?
Yeah,
I never saw it. I heard it was good.
I actually kind of liked it. It's different.
It's been on my list for a while.
I thought it was kind of cool.
I know I mentioned it, and I don't know how much you are into Alien, but Alien Earth is like a surprising series that actually is doing pretty well.
I obviously, when the first one came out, the first couple I thought were really cool. I haven't seen anything really since then, but
It's pretty good.
and this is a series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a short 6-episode series, but it's pretty good.
Okay.
I've been enjoying it. It's just like it's one of those things that's like it's kind of surprising how good it is.
It's
'Cause,
on
like,
Hulu?
It's on Hulu, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like an
Interesting.
FX exclusive.
Okay.
But yeah, that's about it for this year. So
No big family movies coming out around the
no,
holidays.
not really.
Huh. I'm surprised at that.
But yeah. Oh, okay. I lied. Christmas movie, Avatar: Fire and Ash. If you're still into those, I mean, I know James Cameron's like
Yeah.
worshipped for his 10-year-long filming processes, but like
There was a second one that came out. Am I?
Way of Water or something.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I didn't either.
I thought the first one was cool.
We
the
all
first
saw
one
it
as
in
a family.
3D in like 2000
Yeah, like
something.
2009 or 10 or something. But it was cool at the time.
It was really cool. I guess I can't say much considering I've only seen the original, but who knows? It might be good.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it for movie news. I
Okay.
think we covered all the other crazy topics early on.
Yeah,
But,
I think we did.
anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think I covered any stuff that I wanted to discuss tonight.
Well, I guess that's it for today. So if you could subscribe, please subscribe. Leave us some comments. I actually I went on our YouTube and I turned on this community posting. So the community can actually interact with us on YouTube now. So they can also post on our timeline. So if there's anything you guys want to share, stories, topics you want to talk about, or anything you guys want to hear for the next one, just let us know. And we will